Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Monday. It's January 10th. This will be our chart lesson for today, and just a real quick update on my COVID. I'm a lot better, as you can tell. I'm just having a little trouble getting my strength back, so I'm still working short days for a few more days. I thought for sure I'd probably be back to full speed by this week, but I'm just not there yet, so I'm not going to push myself. So I'm still a little slow to answer emails and answering questions in the forum and so forth. I came in, worked a little bit this morning, left for a little bit, and I'm coming back and do the chart lesson this afternoon. That's kind of going to be my MO for the rest of this week unless I get to feeling a lot better over the next couple of days. So I'm pretty much negative now, but my problem is I'm just struggling getting my strength back. And sounds like I've talked to quite a few other people that have had this, and sounds like I'm not alone. And then it takes a little bit of time to recover from this. So generally, once I'm sick, I kind of blow it out, and then I'm right back and rolling again. But I'm not I'm not having that kind of luck with this, unfortunately. So appreciate you guys' patience with me, but I'm going to get to this chart lesson real quick and get through this. As usual, when there's a lot of price action like this, there's probably some trades you could still argue to be green or that you may like better than that I didn't even mark. I'm just trying to go through here and mark the almost sure things and then the ones that I think people would ask me about that I marked green if if it was real close or whatever. So plenty of trades here, and I'd almost categorize this as a reversal day. We had this really strong sell off, a nice spike and channel down with a break and a couple of legs to a new low. We rallied, looked like they tried to take it lower again before it went much higher. And we got a clear two-tiered channel working upward here. Wasn't so surprising that we had somewhat of a reversal today because there was a big gap. As you can see, here's the lows from Friday, and we opened way down here at 8:30 and trended straight down. So there was a large gap. Excuse me. There was a large gap between this low and where we closed Friday. And generally, the chart doesn't like those gaps. And you can see we tried to fill that, which we did. And now we're trying to test the close from Friday. So uh, whether or not this reversal will stick, we'll just have to see. But this is what we're looking at as of now. I'd characterize this as a reversal day. So, but let's zoom in and get through these trades. There were quite a few of them early on. So if you were here early and you traded these, you might have been done quickly. So, um, but early on, we just had this yellow channel down, which turns out that's a spike and a channel and a bigger spike and bigger channel down. But right out of the gate, there's a nice second entry here. It was good for a scalp a little more, and then of course you wouldn't have got a runner on that one. Then you got a lower high here, and this is also a second entry short because there's a little double bottom here, so that's a first entry, second entry. So it's a lower high and a second entry short when we're looking for a retest of the lows, and then you got a failed second entry long here. Notice the new high, first entry, second entry, nice signal bar. Um, you might have even looked at this as a reversal because you've almost got a double top. So we tried to go higher once, twice, and there's also even though we made a little bit lower low, that's still two legs back. I did not mark that trade because I really thought we should have gone on lower there, and so it's starting to really concern me that we're not going lower. Um, you could, like I said, you could argue for that to be at least green. Then we just kind of started working sideways, and I marked this one as a triple test. You've got a double top here, and you try to go higher once, twice. You could have looked at this as a double test as well, but it's just too neutral. But when we try to go higher again, and you got that, this is also a second entry short. I like that one. I didn't really expect it was going to take off like that, but it did. So that was a really nice trade. Then we're just kind of chopping along again. This is almost a repeat of this right here, but it does turn down right off the key entry point as well. And again, Uh, you've got a second entry short right off the key entry point there. It's not the perfect signal bar though, so I marked it as green. You got a lower high here, but it's right into that support. But then you got your failure here with a really nice. I'm sorry, as soon as I start talking a lot, I start struggling here with my voice and my throat. So I'm going to move on through these. But you got a failure here with a really nice signal bar. I like that one. Should be heading to the lower side, which we do. And then we couldn't even get back to the other side here. I don't see a chance to really get short in this right here. Just not really a good setup. And then we had a hidden second entry here. Notice the new low, and then notice you got a move up, correction, second move up. We didn't break lower here, but that is a hidden second entry. First break of this big channel down, and fairly decent signal bar a little ways away from the EMA. You might have risked that one. I'd probably wait on a lower high here to be safe, but this has been a pretty strong downtrend, so you may take that trade. And it turns out to be a really nice trade. It pays off if you do. Sometimes, I mean, when you take more risk, a lot of times you get a bigger payoff. So easy runner on that. And then we're just kind of chopping sideways here. There's no clear highs or lows. We're making higher highs and lower lows every swing here. That's really hard to know what's going on there. Other than there's a real strong downtrend. You might have looked at this as a failure with a big bearish bar. I didn't mark it. I think it's too risky because we just came off the lows there. And notice we do finally get a channel working higher. You get a break outside. This looked like it might be a reversal. There's a double top here, so a first entry, second entry, and it also looked like we tried to go lower. There's a double bottom here. We tried to go lower once, twice. So you might have treated that. It's a second entry long either way. Not a lot of room back to the top though. It is a higher low as well off this low. Really nice signal bar. I don't know if you could have even got in this trade because it gaps over and keeps going. It's certainly a trap. It certainly ran the stops on a lot of shorts there. So you may have taken that trade if you could get in it, but I don't know if you could have got in it or not. And of course, this plays out and we drop again. And this is basically a double top. So you try to go higher once, you try to go higher twice there, but you're not back to the trend line. But then suddenly it tries to go higher again. And so I looked at that as 3 attempts to go higher with a big bearish bar, looking to make a new low here on a second leg down. And so I like that trade. And you'd want to mark these, measure these and see if you got 2 legs down. You can see we didn't quite get there, but we got close. And we finally rallied out of here, but I don't see, there's a failure right here. I don't see that as a really good opportunity to try to go long right there. It's just a lot of too many bars sideways. It does come back and go higher here, but again, that's not a good reversal pattern. And you can see the market was kind of undecided there before it finally rocketed out of there. And you just really don't get it's a pretty nice move up, but you just really don't get a chance to trade it. And then we turn down and you don't really get a good shot to go short on it again. And we're just the market's just kind of lost its way here. And it's hard to know what it's really doing. Finally, you get a trap right here. I viewed this as a trap and a second entry short. Notice the new low, and you go first entry and then second entry. But we tried to go higher once, twice, and it looked like it was going to be a failure, and then it really creates a failure to the upside and gives you a chance to go short. And that's why you got to be careful in these, because it's really hard to know what prices are doing here. If you back out and look at the bigger picture, it's just kind of sideways stuff. The bigger picture is still down, so if you get a good short, you might take it. And then finally, you do get a reversal here on a second entry. Notice there's a double bottom. You try to go lower once, twice, and it fails and turns up and gives you that big bearish bar, but it's also a first entry, second entry. You couldn't use the red bar, but they got matching lows, so if you can use that for your signal bar. That turns out to be a nice move, and it comes back and gives you a second entry long right here. and then it gives you another failure to the downside right here. Notice that new low, first entry, second entry. And so that's going to trap some people probably. I really thought it would go higher there. It does go higher, but it's real slow about doing it. And then I just don't see anything in here worth risking until finally you get another second entry that confirms this trend line. And you can see that new high, first entry, second entry, and that's a nice signal bar too. There's a higher low here that you might have considered that one, but we did just come off the midline, so it could tick higher and turn back down. I didn't mark it. Same thing here. There's a higher low here, and this is a second entry, but it's not a very good signal bar. And there's just no good setups here. You finally get a triple test with a nice signal bar with enough room to get out between here and there. I marked it green. It's not a perfect setup, but there is a reason to take that one if you saw it. There's a second entry here, but not a perfect signal bar, and you got this trend channel working down. And you do get a break and a measured leg down to a new low. There's actually, you're working down, you get a first entry and a second entry way away from the EMA after a break and a new low here with two legs down. So that's one of those green ones you may want to take. There's a higher low here, but that signal bar is just awfully big. I just don't think I would take that. And if you wait just a few minutes later, you get a second entry long here. Notice the new high, first entry, second entry, and decent signal bar. And that takes you into the 2:30 time frame. So, and again, there's probably some other ones in here you could argue for to be green, and maybe even blue or red, depending on how you were looking at the market. You just had to be careful in here because you really would think we'd take on out of here, and yet again you get two legs of correction down here, one leg and then there's another leg. It's not quite a measured move, but you can see that first leg and then the next one, and we came up short, which tells you that, hey, once we reverse we may go much higher. So interesting day. Some pretty good opportunity on the way down, and there's a few opportunities on the way back up here. Right in here is where it kind of got iffy, because they're just, even though that we're rallying out of here, there's no real good setups, and then we're turning down again, and there's just, it's hard to know what prices are doing in there. So you're better off just kind of step aside and wait for only really good setups. And so anyway, that's the way I saw it. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to wrap this one up again because, again, I'm just really struggling to get through these things. So hopefully as the week goes, I'll get stronger here and kind of get back to normal soon. I apologize. I'm doing the best I can though. So if you catch this stuff, take care of yourself, because I generally am not a very sick person, and generally I recover pretty quickly, but I've really struggled with this stuff. So take care of yourself if you catch it, and be wise if you're out there about in public. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow, probably same MO tomorrow. I'm probably going to be working some mild days the next few days till I completely recover from this. But I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next